Well, hello and welcome to another week of the Defender Roundtable, where we're talking about the hot topics that has everyone talking. And today we're talking about an op-ed written by our very own Laura. Laura, hey there, Laura. We're
Right
talking
there.
about what has Trump done for Black people. This is a great article that had me ready to throw my laptop. So we're going to toss it around our team, starting with you, Laura. What was the inspiration for this article and some of your findings?
Yeah, so the inspiration behind this article is having this type of debate with friends and family every 4 years. And the last two specifically, I am a first generation Nigerian American, and this conversation is not new. A lot of people, friends and family, a lot of them are conservative minded, especially from where we come from. They're very conservative with their thinking, way of life, a lot of their beliefs. And so they are attaching themselves to someone who has similar or quote unquote similar interests. And that happens to be Trump, unfortunately, for them. And so I decided to sit down and just break down why is it that many of them are so impassioned or just passionate about supporting Trump. What has Trump done for you as an immigrant coming to this country? And when you ask them, they can't even give you a proper response as to why. It's just that, yeah, he stands just the way his demeanor, the way he stands for certain things, his patriotism, they like that for some reason. I'm not sure. So I just had to talk about what that would be. So I
They
that's
like his stance on immigrants.
see, I had that conversation with them. I said, look, if he gets elected president, I don't know what you're about to do with the rest of the family who are still back home trying to come here. So that's what I told them. So um, that was basically the gist of this opinion piece for me.
Yeah, I think the thing is that Trump is a showman. He is a salesman. I got to give him that. And so he says stuff enough to make people believe him. Like he says he's the greatest president for the African Americans ever. Terrence Swad, weigh in on that.
What cracks me up is when he says he's the best president for Black Americans since Abraham Lincoln. So basically, he said that beyond the man who he's beyond the man or on the level of the man who freed us. I mean, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, some of the things that this guy says and his belief that he's helped us. I remember watching him several years back, with all of the HBCU presidents in the room and he said, something, I'm going to do something for you guys that no other president has done. I'm going to make this deal for 10 years so that y'all don't have to keep coming back here every year. And I don't know, maybe it's just the cynic in me, but when I saw and heard him say that, I just thought, well, yeah, I don't really want to deal with this every year. So I'm gonna just give y'all money that you guys always have coming and that way I don't have to deal with this every year. I mean, he didn't really do anything, but once again, this is what Trump does. He takes credit for everything, and usually he's done nothing.
The Swad?
Yeah, he takes credit for the stimulus checks, the $1 million stimulus checks. Oh wait, they weren't $1 million. I forgot. Um, but those things only came to people because of a Democratic Congress and the leadership of Nancy Pelosi. But like you said, Rashawn, he's such a good salesman slash con man, that he says that it was him and we believe it. And so I'm less disappointed in Trump because he's just being who he is, and more disappointed in Black folk for being so damn stupid, specifically Black men. I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding it, because how
But
are you a Black man that are supporting Trump when he has been so one of the most consistent things about Trump is his entire life he has been anti-Black. And I'm not going to run down all the things, but from Jump Street he's been anti-Black in not only his words and rhetoric but his actions. And yet brothers are, and I don't want to add to this because I think, well, I know the vast majority of brothers are voting for Kamala Harris. The vast majority of brothers are Democrats, but these brothers who are on the Trump train are getting all the press, and I think that's going to be detrimental this.
All
this
right,
November.
we're gonna
One
talk
of
about the brothers next week. We're gonna get on the brothers next week.
my,
Today,
my bad. I'm sorry.
no worries.
I do also want to mention that for the Democrats, they need to understand that history has shown us that the Democratic Party hasn't fulfilled a lot of their promises when they're, you know, let me not, for lack of a better word, pandering to Black people when they really think they need their, like, when they really need their votes, right?
Mhm.
So they also need to realize, like, Black folk are tired and they want something new. And that's probably another reason why we see that this conversation happening around Black people siding with Trump. Democrats need to figure out what they need to do as far as meeting the needs of the people who they represent.
You know what I feel like Democrats need to do? Democrats need to be a salesman, because when we go to the facts, let's deal in the facts, not the alternative facts. Trump touts himself on home ownership, but Black home ownership rates under Trump were 42.2%, under Biden 45.4%. Poverty, he touts himself as better on poverty for the Black community. Under Trump, it was 18.8%. Under Biden, it fell to 17.1%. Black businesses, the number of Black businesses under Trump, yes, it rose, but it kept rising under Biden. And these are facts according to Census Bureau data. But Democrats don't do a good job of selling themselves. They do the work. Biden does the work and keeps it moving. Trump, every time he does anything, he's doing a whole flyer and press conference about it. And so we got to deal in the facts of it all.
Yeah, I agree with all of what you just said, Shonda. But I also think too, one of the things that if we do as a Black people make a mistake in this whole political process, is we don't ask for enough anymore, and I think that that's part of the problem. Our votes should come with conditions. I mean, and I think that a few years back, Ice Cube and maybe even what's the brother's name, the rapper, 50
You
Cent.
got Lil Wayne.
50 Cent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those guys, I mean, they were asking, they were bringing up some relevant points, but at the wrong time. But I think sometimes we get caught up and we don't ask for what we really want, what we need. And so and people aren't addressing our needs. I mean, the way that they are, the other cultures, the way that the gay and lesbian community, they've asked for things and they've gotten them. I mean, tangible things. And we have to get back to that, I think. And that way, and I think that's why some Black people were kind of enamored, I think, with Trump and maybe what he could do. But I always tell people, pay attention to what he's saying. I mean, he has no plan for you. When he says things like Black jobs, that should concern people, because to me, that's telling me that he's looking at us in a lower denominator. And that should be concerning, but people don't get that. And that's why I tell people, be careful, of aligning yourself with him until you really understand what he's about. Go sit down and read a book.
You mentioned in your article, Laura, about the First Step Act, which was, it was great. It came in December of 2018 to reform the criminal justice system. That was a law that Trump brought into fruition. It was, to change the harsh, tough on crime policies. And he touted that. He did free a couple of people. But I think people look at these few things he does, and then they're not looking at the fact that he wants to give police absolute immunity. So what does that mean? That means the next time a police officer pulls over your Black son, your Black husband, and feels like he want to knock him upside the head, he want to shoot him dead, he can and have immunity. And so we got to pay attention to not just what Trump is saying, but what he's doing as well, which in some cases is nothing.
And even when if he doesn't, win presidency, I mean, he did a lot during his time as president that are going to have lasting impact on us as a people. I mean, did you not see the folks that he put in the Supreme Court? They're gonna be there. It's a lifetime thing. And a lot of the decisions that they're already currently making are already impacting us right now. So people just need to take the time to be aware of the type of decisions that he made in his last presidency, and see that is going to 2 times that if he makes it in as president this time around.
What has Trump given to Black people? An end to DEI, an end to affirmative action, a rise in hate crimes, police off the hook, like you said, Rashonda, healthcare apartheid, exponential growth in white domestic terrorist groups. That's what he has tangibly given to Black people. And when we look at that, how in the absolute hell are we talking about voting for that clown?
Well, I think that sums it up right there. That's a wrap on the whole Defender Roundtable. Great way to sum it all up, Aswad. I urge everyone to go read Laura's op-ed on what has Trump done for Black people and tell others about it, because that education is going to be key to spreading the word and getting people out to the polls to make educated and informed decisions when election time rolls around. Well, again, guys, thanks for a fabulous conversation, and we will see you here next week on the Defender Roundtable.